As sales and marketing executive. Through the years, I went up the corporate ladder. I became editor-in-chief for a couple of magazines and also a marketing and communications manager. But I felt like the closest to my heart were my jobs in ABS-CBN Global and also currently with Tag 91.1. Currently, I'm a custodian of the brand. And everything you see or everything you hear that is not music related, there's a touch of branding to it in terms of Tag 91.1. So yes, that's me. Enough about me and more about you. Okay po, ang akin palang, meron pa pala. Ang akin palang personal matter which I realized is I always wanted to belong to the number one or the only one brand of a certain specialization or field. So, this is for my career. Pero pag love life, only one lang. Sorry naman. Sorry, I have to make it correct kasi alam mo, ito tayo lahat. Yes. So now, there's a challenge for you. Alam ko magaling sa memorization, but if you can write it down on your phones, on your paper, please write down, envision how you would like to be known 3 years from now. Take note, hindi po how you see yourself 3 years from now. It's how you would like people to describe you 3 years from now. And I'll give you siguro just half a minute for that. Please ponder and think about it. Magmatutulog. And time is up. Okay? Pwede po natin ituloy yan. So, what I will be sharing with you are around these topics. I'll share with you an overview of branding, something about personal branding, and also we'll go deeper to corporate branding, which I am more well-versed. So, yes. So what are branding? What is a brand and what is branding? First of all, why would it relate to you as in your current status? Pwede po kasi na you're planning to do your own business in the future or you have your own right now. Pwede rin naman na you're aspiring to become future CFOs or CEOs of the company. In which case, napakalaking bagay po na ma-understand nyo where the cost will become, why the cost is going to branding and marketing. So, yes. So, in a nutshell, branding is anything that sets your product or service apart from the competitor. Sabi nga natin, at this day and age, pare-parehong nahalo sa mga produktong nasa market. But why? Bakit may isa or dalawa na laging on the lead in terms of revenue? Bakit may isang laging trending? Ganyan. Branding sets you apart. So it could be, it's not just the logo, it could be any element, and I'll tell you that in a bit. So the elements of a brand could be the brand name, which is the vocalized part of the brand. Brand mark. It's a symbol, design, color, or letters representing the brand. And then trademark is how you can protect the different elements of your brand. It's not just the visual ones, as I will be relaying to you later. And then the core values or the phrases that best describe your brand. And then the mantra would be the 3 to 5 word sentences that is the heart and soul of the brand. I'll give you a real life example for those. So our brand name is Tag 91.1 and brand mark is this logo. This comes in a horizontal. This is the horizontal version, and then there's the vertical version where tag is is above, and then 91.1 is below. This is protected by trademark po, which means to say any entity that doesn't have a legal permission from ARN will have a legal implication kung gagamitin nila ito. Our core values is music-driven. Of course, for a radio station, it's Filipino-centric. You are our target market. It's vibrant, entertaining, and engaging. And perhaps you have seen or heard most of our RJs at one point. So you can say na, oo nga, grabe sila ka-vibrant. Ang ingay nila, oo. So, and our brand mantra, of course, is mahal ko, music ko. And we are not saying na it's just Filipino music, ha? Kasi alam naman natin in our hearts, nung lumaki tayo sa Pilipinas, it's not that, oh, it's 50% English music, it's 50% Filipino music. No, it's one and the same for us. Minsan nga may pumapasok pang mga, mga Chinese music, mayroong mga Korean music, di ba? Pero something that's palatable to the Filipino taste, we play it at that 91.1. And so, kami ay isang radio station, but we have our brand. Tubig. Yun nga, sabi natin, tubig. Bakit may brand? About what makes each of them stand out? Ayan, dyan po sa harap natin, may batwa, may isang still water, may isang sparkling, yes. Oo, what makes each of them stand out? Meron po bang pwedeng mag-share ng kanilang why they're all water, they're one and the same. What makes them different from each other? Sorry, Bob?
The price.
Yes, correct. Tama. Meron pa po? Okay. It could be the packaging. Di ba po? Siyempre, may brand name tayo. And yes, tama po, ang pricing part din po yun ng branding. Mamaya, papuntahan natin yan mamaya. Nagkaiba sila sa branding. Sa strategy. Yun lang po ang pagkakaiba nila. Siguro yung isa may fizz. Ganyan. But they're all water. Pero it has become very effective for their target market. Kasi si Evian, sabi nila, pag ininom mo ko, which are from the mountains of Chenalin, it makes you feel young. Ganyan. And then if you're paying naman, if you're refreshing, bubbly, and sexy, Perrier daw inumin mo. Ako refreshing and bubbly lang, pero iniinom ko pa rin yung Perrier. Baka may sexy ako someday. Yan. And then yung Fiji from the springs of, it's pure, healthy, and natural. So if you're into holistic development, ganyan, and drink Fiji daw. So it's really more of just how they were branded, how they were packaged, and how are they being sold to you. So that is branding. Branding is a strategy to create a perceived image of the product or service. Simply put, branding is a promise you make to your customers that if they avail your services or if they buy your product, they will reap so and so benefits. Branding is the experience you guarantee them na even without them trying it, they have already this expectation na, pag kinain ko to, pag ininom ko to, pag binili ko to, gaganda ako. Something like that. And it's the perception, like I said, nowadays it's not more of what you tell them, it's more of how they see you. So even the kind of packaging, the colors being used for us, that 91.1 for example, we use predominantly orange color because it exemplifies youth, it exemplifies energy, and that is something that we promise to our listeners. Kapag nakinig kayo sa amin, early in the morning, you're driving to work, you'll be energized. Kasi you have your favorite music, you have your Bluebird and Caribel, talking about fun stuff in the morning. So that's our promise to you. And that's the perception you have. Even if you're not listening at the time, like yung 1.1, sabihin mo sa friend mo, uy, down ka ba? Makinig ka ng tag. Sabi nila masaya daw doon. Totoo naman yun. Oo. So, ang tanong, marketing and branding. Ako pala, parang kita inaantok. Marketing and branding, are they one and the same? Ilan po dito naniniwalang pareho sila? Big question. Ilan po dito naniniwalang hindi sila pareho? Grabe yan. Ilan po dito undecided? Marami po kayo yung nagtaas ng kamay. Anyway, to cut the story short, they're different, but now more than ever, they should work hand in hand. Okay? The definition of branding, if we are to compare it with marketing, is it primarily focuses on the collective group of signals the business uses in the marketing and advertising to promote your brand. And then with marketing, it's really more of the whole business being promoted in the initiatives. Branding is who you are, and then marketing is how you build awareness of your company. Branding says it's a strategy to make loyal customers, advocates, and even evangelists. And marketing are the tactical goals to unearth and activate buyers. So, ang branding po is, andito po ako, kung gusto niyo po ako, pili niyo po ako. Kung gusto pong nasayahan po kayo sa akin, pakirecommend din po ako sa iba. Ganyan. May pagbubod para makaantig yung mga puso ninyo. Sa marketing, pili niyo po ako, thanks, ganon. Pero sa akin, I may be called brand manager for that, but I do both, in essence. I do my branding task mainly for the perception of our dear listeners, which is you guys. And mainly for marketing is when we also need to speak to, present our presentations to our advertisers, to event partners, yan. Yan naman yung binibenta namin yung benefits sa kanila if they do business with us. Ganyan. And like I said, branding for us, your perception is everything. You should feel like we can take you to places, fun concerts, even your first winter getaway, things like that. That is part of our branding initiatives. Yeah, like I said, kanina, marketing is no longer about what you tell people eh. Ngayon, it comes down to the support of your consumer comes down to 90% of what they experience or someone they know experience with your brand. And only just 10% kung sabihin namin sa inyo. Kasi at sabihin namin #1 Filipino radio station kami. If we play something else na hindi nyo naman gusto, what's the point? Hindi kayo may kinig sa amin. Benefits. Ang benefits nito mainly is recognition. Why do we need recognition? Kasi kapag gusto natin i-refer ng ibang tao yung brand natin, if we have an effective brand, i-describe lang nila, yung origin to. Yung ganyan, yung meron sila Maria Maldita, yung maingay sa hapon, sila ni Johnny Biryani, ganyan. That's all elements of branding. Prominence. Sabihin na natin, if we also have our indirect competitors with the likes of Virgin Radio, the likes of Dubai 92 and Dubai Live, which are all under the umbrella of ABL Radio Network. Pero we have to stand out from them. And that is, we are exclusively catering to the Filipino people. And it's really targeted. You're not, parang you're singled out from the rest with our station and we are making you feel exceptionally special as Filipinos. Loyalty. It's very important because once you have the correct branding, the right quality, and that also shows with if you have a product, if you master the perfect size, quality, and quantity for your customers, that is something na would also strike loyalty from them. Parang tayo sa Pinas may Coke sakto. Diba? Yung, sir, sakto lang ko. Ganon, diba? Parang naging term na sa atin siya, minsan hindi na Coke ang tawag natin eh. But alam mo yung aming titera na sakto is, and Coke is one and the same. And then new market. If you want to venture out to Saudi, for example, it would be very easy if you already have the brand. And I'm sure they already know at some point because there's already overspill of listenership. So that's the purpose of having a brand. Sabihin nyo, Nix, bakit kung halimbawa, small time na yung business namin eh, all the more na kailangan natin mag-branding. Kasi marami din po ang pare-pareho na magiging, halimbawa, bubble tea, mga milk tea, ganyan, di ba? Pero bakit may mga nasa-stand out sa mga ganong business? Even siomai. Diba yung mga master siomai, ganyan. It's really, kasi Kasi ang catchy ng name nila eh. It's all part of the brand. It's all part of the branding. So sabi, sabihin natin yan, in real life perspective, ano yung naging effects ng effective branding 2021.1? We remain the #1 Filipino radio station, radio for the Filipino people, with a weekly reach of 400,000. And I say that because, yun nga, even English stations are our direct competitors. But according to the Nielsen survey, we are the most preferred radio station for the Filipino community. And with that also, and we also have to be proud because out of almost 50 radio stations, Filipinos are the most loyal radio listeners. We have the most loyal radio listeners among all those radio stations with 200,000 exclusive listeners. Ibig sabihin nun, wala silang ibang pinapakinggan. Kahit from umaga to gabi, with the average of 5 hours, ang haba nun. Thank you po, salamat. 5 hours ang pakikinig nyo sa amin, hindi ko alam. Grabe, nagkakuli na siguro yung kanta nun. And like I said, we also work on the perspective on the side of our advertisers, of our partners. And all those promotions and tie-ups we've done with them help with the good year-end profits in 2018. So yes, branding also helps with your revenue po, which I will share with you later sa corporate branding. So personal branding po tayo. Sino po dito ang makakapag-name sa kanilang lahat? Now. Meron? Meron po? Sabay-sabayin natin. Mr. Mark Zuckerberg ng Facebook, of course. Famous Oprah Winfrey, Steve Jobs of Apple Electronics, Richard Branson of Virgin Group, Tony Tan Caktiong of Jollibee Food Corp, and Jack Ma of Alibaba. And they all have one thing in common. Sinama ko na si Jollibee kasi cute. Pero even without them, without the brand on their back or whatever, you can actually identify who they are and their affiliations or their businesses because they have mastered personal branding. And that's something we can do not only as entrepreneurs but in our own ways, in our own current situations in the workplace. So what is personal branding? Personal branding is, may nakakilala po sa inyo sa kanila? Game of Thrones fans, April 14 na po. So this is Tywin Lannister and Cersei Lannister. And Tywin Lannister in this scene is saying, any man who must say, I am the king, is no true king. And this is very much what personal branding is about. Because personal branding is more about what people says about you than what you say about yourself. So it's more of you packaging yourself to be who you want people to perceive you to be. Yan. And how do we achieve it? First, we need to find out the characteristics. I've used the word spear to encapsulate that kasi that's something that breaks through it. A spear breaks through your heart. I don't know. Anyway, S is for sincerity. It's sincere. Personal branding is sincere. You have to know yourself and you have to be yourself. Kasi people see through your pretenses. I'm sorry to tell everyone. Diba? We have to be persistent because even Linda and I were talking a while ago, said there were businesses that didn't fly as expected. But these mishaps or failures or changes in directions, this could be part of your personal brand. All you need to do is be consistent about it. Yes? Experientially. People need to know your greatness. We cannot just sit in a corner and expect people to know how good we are in our line of work, in our specialty. We need to go out there. We need to network, which is why PICPA is here, I'm sure. And we need to communicate. People need to know how good we are. Authentic. Like myself, I'm currently taking masters because I want to specialize into something. I'm already specialized in branding and marketing on the on-ground. Like like in my line of job, but I also want to be learned more in the communication and development communication. Respectable. We have to do good and be good, not just in our line of work, not just in our businesses, but also in our personal lives. Sabi nga nila, di ba, ang ginagawa ng kanang kamay, kailangan alam din ng kaliwa or something ganyan. We know people who has taken years to build an empire or has taken years to climb up the corporate ladder, but one false move and they lose everything. So we also need to be respectable at all times. Ito, I have to inject. Sino po dito ang may alam sa K-pop? Ay, wala. Sino po dito may anak na mahilig sa K-pop? Ay, wala din. Sino sa inyo nakakilala ng BTS? Wala. Anyway, I'll share with you a very quick story and why I'm sharing this with you. Kasi I have 14-year-old daughters, they're twins. They're so much into BTS. So sabi ko, bakit ba? Cute lang nila. Ano was the fuss? Ganon. So, pinag-aralan ko. And what I've learned is these kids, they started 5 years ago. And they were begging people to come to their concerts for free. They're giving out posters. Now, they're performing at sold-out stadiums in the US, Europe, all over, especially in Asia. And they have that massive billion followings and returns. And currently they're into UN and everything. And what I've seen to them is this. When they were starting, how they were when they were starting, how they are until now, they're the same bunch of goofy kids. They can be badass when they're performing on stage, but they're so sincere with how they do it, and they're so consistent that even if they have failures, even if they have people bashing them, they go to their social media, they communicate to their followers, and they show who they truly are with these contents. That is something, and they go out. Like I said, they go to the US, they go to the UK, they go all around Asia and Australia. They want their market to experience them. Ganyan. And like I said nga, yun, being authentic, they can sing, they can dance. Of course, many people can do that. They can also rap. But what they stood out in the K-pop industry is that they write from the heart. It's not the usual beat, riches, money, cars, and such. And then, like I said, they respectable. They go lengths to lengths to increase their brand image. And currently, one of them has spoken already in the UN. So something like that. These bunch of kids master the art of personal branding. So yes, we can do that too. We can do that in our own little ways. How? We do it by asking other people. Tanong natin yung mga ka-office mate natin, tanong natin yung mga friends natin, our mentors. Guys, paano niyo ba ako nakikita? Yun totoo. Hindi ako ma-hurt. Kahit deep inside. Why? Ganon. Next is, once you find out naman, you assess yourself on how you can do things differently. Kung hindi pala yun yung gusto mong makikita nila sa'yo. Diba? And then next is you share your compelling story. Yung from, it could be a rags to riches story, pwede namang napaka-simpleng mga bagay lang na you make a transformation. And you keep building trust and loyalty. And this is the most important. You deepen your relationships with people. Not because they can do something for you, but because at the end of the day, these are the people who will you be learning from and who you will be sharing your blessings and knowledge with. Ako, I can say, like I said, yun nga, I'm not proud with my accounting grades back in college as any other subjects. Kasi bulang-bol po talaga ako noon. Just so happens na ang mga friends ko are yung talagang matatalino and they felt like I'm a charity case. Sabi, huy, aral naman tayo. Lagi lang, ginagalan. Ilang years na, hindi ako compute. Pero sige, after more than a decade, I'm here, I'm with my family, doing fine. Yes, and the same friends of mine tell me, girl, alam mo, I'm so happy for you. I feel like you're so blessed, ganyan. And I felt like, I know na, before when they thought of me as a problem child, I didn't sulk. I took that as a challenge na I'm gonna prove you all that you're right now, but tomorrow you're wrong. Ganon. So, what is my personal brand? Nowadays, ito na. Excellence. I work with excellence, or at least I try my very best to be working with excellence. Integrity is not negotiable. I always work with integrity. And everything I do is for my family. That is my personal brand. I'm not into fame or whatever. Fortune is yes, a big yes. But it's really, everything I do is for my family. And if that comes through the people I work with day in, day out, I'm okay with that. Okay? So now we go for corporate brand. Before pala, anything you want to ask about personal branding that you feel like can be helpful? Okay, shall we proceed na po? Corporate branding? Alright, so corporate branding. Before I go to the theories, I'd like for you guys to watch a couple of ads that I have included. Who among you guys know John Lewis? Brands? He's nodding, I'm sure. It's a well-known brand in the UK, and it's a retail brand. And every year they would have their Christmas advertisements, right? And it would have really phenomenal results. But anyway, I'll let you watch this first. This particular advert is for pushing their online selling, which proven to be effective. Kasi with just a budget of £1 million for the ad budget, their sales record for the online shopping was boosted the sales 5.1% to nearly £1 billion. So yun yung power of branding. This is branding, guys. It's more than just logo, which we'll be discussing later. Meron tayong ganito eh. Ano yung bubuyo? Yeah, every Valentine's Day naman yung ganito natin. So that is also corporate branding. Ayan. O, kala yun nakalimutan ko kayo. Anyway, corporate branding, according to businessdictionary.com, is the process involved in creating a unique name and image for a product in consumers' mind, mainly through advertising campaigns, with a consistent theme. Yan, pinag-usapan natin yan kanina, di ba? We have to be consistent not only in our personal branding, not only in branding in total, but how we present our brand as a business. Yan. How do we get started? This is for those who are planning to work on their entrepreneurial projects very soon, or when you're planning already. Review your product or service. Make a product. Make your brand's audit. What makes it stand out from the competition? What are its strengths and weaknesses? You amplify the strengths. You improve the weaknesses. Second is create your brand promise. The who, what, the who, why, for, and it's mainly your mission and vision for your brand. Get everyone on board. It could be if you're a corporation, and all the board members, even the stakeholders. If it's a small business enterprise, lahat kayo magkakumare. Lahat, ipasok natin lahat how they perceive the brand should be, what kind of messaging it should be. And I'll tell you why. Because by step number 4, you cannot change. You have to give it to the pros. If there's one of you who is already good in branding or marketing, well then it's good. But please don't skip getting, if need be, a marketing agency or a branding agency to help you develop your brand. Make it come alive with your specific logos, come up with your guidelines and such. Don't make it like a high school project nung inaanak yung nag-aaral ng Photoshop. Why? Because if you're planning long term, it's not sustainable. You need all the works for it to be consistent. And that's what a professional branding or marketing agency or professional can help do for you. And the number 5 is to implement the brand guidelines. Like we said, have everyone on board. Kasi if one member doesn't follow the guidelines, it will break the brand. What do we say when we implement brand guidelines? Even from packaging. Even kapag nag-put up na tayo ng store, may it be a physical store, an online one, are we using the same kind of background? Are we using this logo? Are we using this color? These things would have different meanings kasi. So these elements need to be in harmony. And kapag tinanong kayo, especially if you're a business owner, oh, why is your logo like this? Why is it this color? Why is it that font? Ganyan. There has to be, kahit i-chika mo na, basta kung confident kayo, pare-pareho kayo ng sagot ng, pare-pareho kayo ng team nyo, siya ay bongga, pinaghandaan ng brand, gano'n. More tips on getting started. Like I said, put large efforts kapag bago pa lang yung brand and pag developing pa lang yung market. Also, efforts include time, resources, especially monetary. Huwag tayong, it's good na magtipid tayo, pero please, kung meron naman tayong pwedeng allot na budget for this, might as well. I would really suggest na have a pro to do these things for you. Especially kung we're more into the financial side of things, di ba? Yan. Although I'm not saying na hire me, pero pwede na rin. Joke na. Okay? And then, evaluate your competitors' brands. Kasi baka, yun nga, you feel like, oh, ang galing namin, ito yung namin, unique selling point namin and all. Pero hindi natin na-review yung natin, yung mga competitors natin na, ay, shucks, may pareho pala tayo ng brand logo, or pareho pala tayo may question mark or something, ganyan. So, we need to review all these things. And again, like I said kanina, we do our brand positioning. We ask why. Bakit kailangan po ito ng ating consumer? So, sasagutin ko to in terms of tag. Okay, so why did we put up tag 91.1? It's because during that time, there was a radio station late night in Dubai Eye, which is a Filipino format. And that program proved to be something popular to the community. And we felt like if they are staying that late at that point in time, I'm sure they would be needing it for the rest of the day. Hence, Tag 91.1 was born. For whom? It's specifically for you guys. So, kung yung marinig nyo, yung mga sense of humor natin, pang OFW na pang OFW, di ba, yung mga padala. Si ate nakipadala, akala natin maliit na ganyan lang, isang malaking maleta pala, di ba? Hindi mo rin marinig pag nakinig ka sa Pilipinas, they don't know the struggle is real. Di ba? Well, during that time, the demand was already ripe. So that's when actually is any time of the day, but in terms of demand, it was already there when we opened it. Opposed to whom? At that time, we were not competing with any fellow Filipino radio station, but there was one that came up. I'm sure there will be more that will be coming up, and that's actually a good thing if we have a competitor, Tag 91.1, because it only goes to show we're doing something right, hindi po ba? Kasi we're doing something for the market na nakita nila yung potential. Part of learning more about our target market is by doing feasibility studies. Sometimes, kung nasa abroad tayo, medyo struggle siya, kasi we might need to hire an agency to do that. Kung sa Pilipinas tayo gagawa ng feasibility study or have like a volunteer, ganyan. Pero we can actually stop them in a more cost-efficient way. And we can actually find interest, affiliations, and beliefs na hindi tayo nagbabayad. Naniniwala po ba kayo doon? Alam po ba natin kung paano? Maraming ways actually. Pero ang isa po natin pwedeng gawin is mag-put up ng business page and try the Facebook Insights. If you need to know more about this or if you need me to give you like an example, let me know. I'll share my email address later. Pero napaka-simple po. Actually, you can go to I want to target this specific audience in this specific place. I want to target them, all females, age so and so. But I want to know what devices they are using when they're using their social media. I want to know what kind of pages they like kasi I want to also tap into them para mas mapalapit ako sa kanila. They can even share the kind of businesses or jobs they currently hold if they have picked that, or if the algorithm shows they have had a setup na pwedeng basahin ni Facebook yung algorithm ng mga nilalike nila, fina-follow nila and such. And lalabas sa inyo yung mga ganito, you can stalk them talaga in a legal sense. Yes. So try Facebook Insights. Again, I'll share my email later if you need to know something about that. Pwede naman Google or YouTube. Okay. So like I said kanina, branding is not just the logo. Branding is so many things. And kagaya kanina po nabanggit kayo na branding includes pricing. So isa-isahin natin, kunyari, we'll give you examples. Advertising and communications. With Tag 91.1, what we do, we partner with print media. So they place their ads on us, we place our ads on them. We also have, we play our TVCs every time there's a screen on a concert, big concert we're partnering with. And also if we have movie nights, we play our TVCs before the movie actually is being screened. Product and packaging designs, like I said kanina, the water example. So it's all about packaging. Even water can be sold at such value. Store experience. I'm sure naman, kapag dumadaan kayo ng mall, mapadaan kayo sa isang store, biglang, grabe yun. Alam ko yung brand na yun. Ganyan. Okay, papasok sa isang store, hello ma'am, sir! Parang the experience you're getting from the staff, it's very, happy to serve, saan yun? Diba? Totoo? Pricing, like we said, we can do, yun nga, why are there merchandises na pareho-pareho lang naman sila? Maybe the quality is all the same. Bakit mas mahal si isa? Yung isa, it's really the perception, hindi po ba? And then sponsorship and partnerships. Like us, we partner with the likes of ABS-CBN, and we partner with the biggest Filipino concerts because we want to give that perception that if you listen to that, we'll bring you to these kinds of events. And of course, again, like I said, visual identity of the brand, logo, website, and colors, they all have to be in harmony as per guidelines and consistent. Ayan. Like I said kanina, kung meron tayo ng budget, huwag natin tipirin ng advertising. Again, hindi ko po sinasabi ito para mag-advertise po kayo sa tag. Pero, what I'm trying to say is, there is a science behind it. Can you believe it? Ayan, there's science behind it. It's not just because people are selling stuff to you. And this is based with the elaborate likelihood model where there's the certain stimuli will produce a certain kind of attitude. So, ito nga, from unawareness to awareness, pag nalaman nila na may ganitong product, tag, ay, may Filipino radio station na pala. Tingnan na natin kung masaya makinig doon. Expectations. Ito na pala expectations, di ba? Tinry ko, nag-tune ako sa 91.1. Ay, ang ingay! Pero sige nga, makikinig pa ako ulit. Oh my gosh, ito yung favorite song ko, ganyan. Pagdating ng advent, sabi ni RJ, magpapamigay kami ng tickets, pupunta tayo ng Moscow, ganyan, Moscow, Russia. Ganyan, sasali na ako dyan, ganyan. Oh my God, nanalo ako. Lilipat na ako sa February 22, Russia, ganyan, bibili na ako. Susunod nun, kaya na ako. Sasabihin ko sa mga friends ko, guys, pupunta sila sa Bangkok. Sumali na rin kayo. True story yan. Kasi meron kami na rin nare-receive na sumali ng on-air, nanalo ng on-air, kunyari lumipat kami ng Armenia. By the time na lumipat kami ng Georgia, yung isang online winner namin, pinsan pala yung winner na Armenia. So, kinulit-kulit ko niya kasi ako eh. Pwede naman kinulit-kulit ka niya sumama kasama. Bakit ako congrats? So, totoo yan. Okay? So here are many ways that you promote your brand, pero I will just focus on the top two. Kasi alam naman na natin yung iba. Tama ho? Let's not forget that this is according to the Nielsen Global Survey of Trust in Advertising 2013. So, let's not forget the word of mouth and customer feedback. Kasi right now, people trust other people. Parang kung tayo, di ba? Halimbawa, mag-travel tayo, magbubuk tayo ng airline, magbubuk tayo ng hotel. Even if naka-plaster na po kahit saan kang page pumunta, bakit pa sige doon? Punta lang punta doon. Di ba? Ganun, sinusundan na nila tayo. Tapos sabihin natin, oh sige, pero gusto ko yung medyo cost-effective eh. Yung medyo mura-mura, mas mura sila doon, pero maganda pa din. Pupunta tayo sa TripAdvisor. Hindi po ba? Titignan natin yung mga reviews. Oo. So, and that is why marami ngayong businesses, halimbawa, the likes of Facebook or their own website, meron silang mga review pages doon. And that's a challenge to us kung kayo magbe-business, kung tayo magbe-business, kasi we have to do well all the time. Kasi kapag ino-opera natin siya for reviews, it's a make or break. Di ba ho? But always remember, people, eto napaka-cost-effective po niyan. Kung baga mo sabihin, hindi ko pa ma-afford yung TV, hindi, yung mahal-mahal, hindi yun, ganun. Napakamura lang po ng may mag-review para sa inyo. At tama po yung i-review niyan sa ibigay. Consistent po yung brand of service ninyo. Okay, ito po, may nakakaalala nitong commercial na to? Si Coke. Coca-Cola. This was a commercial, 2-3 years back. Dito po yan sinet. Na the Coke bottle caps, they could be used to call the neighbors can call their loved ones from home just using those Coke bottle caps. And it, for us na nakapanood nito, talagang, ang sarap talaga ma-associate sa Coke. Ganon. Wow, super power! Okay, so, pero, we'll get to that in a bit. In the 1950s, we usually, for branding, we usually use the unique selling proposition. It evolved in the 60s na emotional selling proposition na siya. And then in the 80s, it became organizational. 90s, brand selling proposition. And organizational selling proposition is halimbawa sabihin natin, ay Nike ang brand na yan. That's from the, Nike yung company. Whatever Nike produces, I buy. Ganon, di ba? And then by the time na 90s, early 2000s, ayan na yung anything Walt Disney. Di ba? From cups to mugs to bags, whatever, basta Disney, brand selling proposition. And then, gradually, it became the me selling proposition. Yung pwede ka nang mag-personalize na sarili mo. Like, you can go to their stores or you can go to their online store and make your own preferences in terms of the brand. This holistic selling proposition is in the works in the market right now. And would be good that you take into consideration when you're creating the brand. Syempre, they say, especially the one who made this or proposed this in his study, they say that this will be the future in terms of branding, how you push your brand. And it says you have to have the consumers experience your brand using their senses. 2 to 3 at the minimum, 5 at best. And I'll share with you about Coke story. So the Coke story, nagsimula sila sa kanilang unique selling proposition. Dati si Santa Claus naka-color green pala. Pero when Coke introduced Santa Claus using their brand colors red and white, it stuck to us. Wala ka nakikita ng Santa Claus ngayon na green. Meron ba? Wala. Oo. So, the Coke colors stuck to them. And also that association of feeling Christmassy, that festive feeling, di ba? In the 60s, they took advantage yung taste the feeling. Something like that. No, it's the real thing pala. It's the real thing pa ng time na yun. And then, the product shape, kaya may tinatawag tayong Coca-Cola body. Di po ba? Kahit tanggalin niyo yung logo niyan, alam mo, from afar, that's a Coke bottle. Diba? And even the touch, sabi nila, 59% of consumers prefer na glass bottle yung iniinuman nila Coke in comparison to same product pero naka-can or naka-plastic bottle. And also, yung taste. Ito, nabasa ko lang kasi ko naka-compare. Pero what they say is, Coke has a sharper taste than its competitor. So alam naman na natin yung competitor nila. And that's how people who are loyal to the brand could really determine kung Coke ba ito or Pepsi. Sinabi ko din. Tapos, yun, sabi natin, kapag nanonood tayo ng sine ngayon, di ba? There's usually that Coke ad na, taste the feeling. Ano ba yung parang gano'n? Makdo? Love ko to. Ano ba? Wish ko na. Diba? Diba? So, even, yun, ano ba yung napag-usapan natin? Visual. Ang hindi lang nabanggit ito is scent. So, there are other brands naman na scent ang kanilang uniqueness, di ba? So, ano yung benefits of sensory branding? Like I said, this is something that you need to consider when you're working on your own brands. There would be an emotional engagement. Like I said, yun nga, parang with the likes of Jollibee, siguro kasi we grew up being Jollibee being part of our lives, and we felt like the stories they shared is a story of our own. Kaya parang that affiliation na kapag nagpapakita sila ng mga stories na it could be a romantic love story, a family kind of love story, ganyan. And ini-inject nila dun yung mga moments na they spend in Jollibee or maybe doing Jollibee takeaway. Parang feel natin na, ay, hindi to overselling. Hindi nila pinupush. It's really, naranasan ko to eh. Parang gano'n. There would be that kind of emotional attachment to the brand. There also be an optimized match between perception and reality. So, halimbawa, mayroong mga produkto na you can associate the quality with the weight. Siguro nga kasi like the gold, di ba? Mas mabigat sa atin, ganyan, mas malaki yung value. So, there's that. And creation of a brand platform for product extension. An example of which is Caterpillar. Not the insect, pero yung brand, the Caterpillar, na merong tractors, meron din silang rubber shoes. Ayun, just shoes, boots, and all. So, paano natin na ipag-jive yun, di ba? May tractors, tapos boots. Ang nakita pala nila is, there are elements they could link to each other, which were rubber and metal, which nandun din sa shoes, and also the colors, yung brown, black, and yellow. So, yun, you can create, if you are able to master this kind of sensory branding, there are those opportunities for you guys. Trademark, ito, sa sound. Harley-Davidson lost a court case against Honda and Yamaha. Kasi si Honda and Yamaha, nagaya nila yung sound ng engine ng Harley-Davidson. Bakit natalo si Harley-Davidson? Kasi hindi nila napa-trademark. Oo. So, yun. Even those elements. Kapag nag-start, if you are going to be considering this approach when developing your brand, review the product, review the service. Lahat ng pwede yung yun nga, parang happy to serve. Trademark nila yun. Pero, anything na pwedeng ma-experience ng in terms of senses ng consumers, ng customer nyo, take consideration of that. That could be your leverage. Like I said, this is according to Martin Lindstorm's brand sense. Ito yung sinasabi nating study. The memorability and the loyalty increases by 100% kapag 3 senses ang involved when the person, your consumer, experiencing your brand. Not bad na yung 33%. Whereas, yun nga, kung halimbawa, the usual na one sense kind of a brand experience lang. So, with that, we also have to achieving the branding power. And I'm just gonna share with you the questions you have to ask yourself. How distinctive is the brand in the marketplace? Is it meaningful? Is it personally appropriate? Like I said, gaano ba ka-distinctive yung nung time na pinut up namin yung tag na yung it's very distinctive. It's the only Filipino radio station at the time. Is it meaningful? Of course, it's really giving back to the community. ARN has enjoyed through its other stations the support of the Filipino community, and they felt that at that time it was already right to give back something that Filipinos can enjoy most. Esteem, is the brand highly regarded and considered the best in class? I suppose so. Knowledge, does the customer understand as to what the brand stands for? That's actually a question we need to again revisit. Kasi we usually have our focus groups when we have our winners around us. And of course, they're already our captured audience. But the likes of you guys, I believe there's a step forward that we need to do in actually trying to understand or what we try to stand for, what we perceive that we are standing for. Okay, so ito naman is your course of action once you have your brand already in the marketplace. If the person buys your brand and doesn't recommend it to others, or they don't buy it again, we need to address why. It could be pwede sila mag-send sa inyo ng comment sa Facebook page na, I'm so not happy, I'm never recommending this to anyone ever again. Ganyan. Don't ignore them, please. Speak to them. Maybe know what was, kasi you have a way to turn it around. You have a way to turn it around. You just need to understand what displeased them. There's another one. If they don't buy your brand and they don't recommend it to others, don't ignore them as well. That's the reason why we go to several concerts, different talks, or different kinds of events that may not be music related. Kasi we also want to reach those who haven't listened to us yet. Kasi marami pa, for sure. And then, we have the brand apostle. Ito yung mga hindi pa nakakabay ng brand, pero nakita nila, somehow they believe it, and dun sa taong may nas nangangailangan, they refer it to them. Let's not forget to appreciate them. Maybe we ask our listeners, we ask our buyers who recommended you the brand, diba? And then we give a reward system. And then we have the brand champion who continuously buys the brand and continuously shares the brand to others. And this we need to nurture. For us, yun nga, this is the reason why we have this station promotions. Kasi the more you listen to us, the more chances that you can be part of those big things that we give our listeners. So by degree, I'll give you an example again. So tag 91.1. We are being recognized as a Filipino radio station by the whole lot, like all the radio listeners in the UAE. And we are targeting particularly the Filipino market. And brand champions are those who day in, day out tune into us. And kahit may times na malabo ang signal, ano pa rin sila ko-connect sa office. Pwede po, tag 911.8 listen live. Yes. Pwede rin po mag-download ng app. Yeah. Nag-vlog! Okay. We're down to the final slides na din. But I'll share you the journey. It's actually the 5 moments of truth in customer service, and then it evolved to selling, 5 moments of truth into selling. But I'll tell you the journey through tag 91.1 listener with the 5 moments of truth that you can apply to your own businesses. Okay? The less than 0 moment of truth. Kunyari, si listener, bagong salta sa Dubai along with fellow workmates na galing lahat sa Pilipinas. Naho-homesick siya. Something happened to her. She's feeling homesick. And now, it's time to look for something to address that. 0 moment of truth. Si OFW na recognize niya na, ay, may Filipino radio station pala dito. Google ko nga. Makita ko tag 91.1. Wala pa akong kotse, ganyan. So, try ko makinig using the app or using the internet. Nag-tune in ako, 3 to 7 minutes, na napakinggan ko yung aking sinta. Hindi ko kayo kanta. O yan. Sabi ko, oh my God, Parang Space favorite ko to. Akala ko hindi ko na siya mapapakinggan sa radyo ever again. Sabi, that 3 to 7 seconds is very crucial. Kasi that will let them know kung teka, mag-tune in ba ako or mag-tune out na ako? Ganyan. Ganun din kapag physical yung brand. Pag pumasok si customer sa, natin, sa store, pag makita natin yung packaging, hindi masyado kaaya-aya or kaaya-aya ng talaga, ay kukunin natin siya, hindi ba? Ganun din naman pag pupunta tayo sa online market, sa online stores. Ay, hindi maganda yung, yung layout. E paano mo? Ay, napaka-user-friendly nito. Sige nga, mag-scroll pa ako, marami pa ako may mabili. Ganyan, di ba? So, that's the first moment of truth. The second moment of truth is kapag na-experience na nila, na-enjoy nila, ganyan. Hopefully, ma-enjoy nila. And the third moment of truth is kapag nasayahan sila ng lubos, isi-share nila sa ibang tao. So it doesn't have to be our radio station, it goes with any brand or any service. Ganun tayo, di ba? Pag nasayahan tayo kunyari sa salon, di ba? Girl, alam mo ng weekend, grabe, shiny ng hair ko, di ba? Ganon. Ito, bibigyan ko yung number ni ate. Sa kanya ako magpapagawa, di ba? Ganon tayo. So, yes, that's that. So, to close, tapos na rin si Nicole. Okay. So, to close, I want to share with you the brand secrets of what we share. The brand secrets of Uniqlo. First is they say, be good and do good. With them, they have to earn the trust of their consumers. So they use the high quality products, they hire high quality staff, and they give you value for money for all those. And that's the kind of trust they want to give you. Establish your why. For them, they want to democratize the high quality brands and make it available for all. So ang slogan nila is made for all. And that also goes in their back room. Meron silang universal pay system where all the shop managers and the higher executives all over the world, they have the same salary. Kasi parang sa nila, equal job is equal, means equal salary, ganon. And then, tell your truth. For them, they have to find what they could do to the society, what difference they can do to society. And they were able to creatively express it with power, with emotion, and with clarity. And that is something we need to do in our brands. Kahit we are starting pa, we need to do all those. And simply put, everything I've said is all about people loving to support brands they trust. So it's not, sometimes it's not just the quality, it's not just the branding, it's both the high quality and the high kind of branding, and the kind of sincerity that we give, the hearts we put into the brand, and that's what they trust. So, with that, I know some of you have written it, some of you might have thought of it. Please go back to your to the vision that you have of yourself, the vision that you want people to perceive of you 3 years from now. If that is not your current state, please do say what you need to do, what is needed to be done for you to be that kind of person. And with that, let's all earn our place in the world. Thank you.